One of the most expensive things I've ever paid for wasn't a bad business decision, wasn't a failed investment, it wasn't a mistake in business, it was isolation. Because isolation doesn't show up on your P&L, doesn't show up on your balance sheet, it shows up in your marriage, your health, your leadership, your faith, your friendships, and eventually, your business. Over the last couple weeks, I've been reminded just how expensive isolation can be. And today, I want to talk about it. The lie entrepreneurs believe, leaders and business owners that I have come to know, and even myself looking myself in the mirror. The lie sounds like this, and you may resonate with this. This is something that I consistently say myself. I'm going to continue to push through. I'm going to fight, no pain, no gain. I'll handle it myself. I don't need help. I'll talk about it later. These are statements that I had said over the last 10 years, over and over and over again. And it just kept building inside of my mind, body, and spirit. And honestly, it was weighing on me. It was like a huge elephant on top of me. And it just got worse and worse. Building the insurance company and starting in 2015, and I know you listening to this, when you start something, you become everything. You're doing marketing, advertising, you're managing employees. Maybe you're doing the work, the actual work itself. You're answering phone calls. You're having to do bookkeeping. There is literally 50 to 60 to 70 plus different hats that you wear originally when building something and even leading something. That leads to 14, 15, 16-hour days the first year, 2 years, 3 years. There's a reason why businesses most fail within that first 2 to 3 to 4 years. But I was determined. I was relentless. I was going to do whatever it took to get to where I wanted to go, to hit that goal. Whether this was the migraines that I was having, sleeping underneath my desk day after day, carrying everything myself, not knowing who to have those conversations with on a daily basis. I tried to have it with my spouse. I tried to have it with my friends, my family. But every time I had those conversations, it was like it was one ear and out the other. It was over their head because they didn't understand. They were coming from a place of love, but there was no understanding. So I could not have those conversations. So what did that do? I felt the pressure. I felt the overwhelm. And it was just constantly compounding over every day. But I had that goal. I had that dream. I had that vision on what I wanted to do at all cost. And the scary thing about it is nobody knew. I was thinking this was normal. And from the outside, everything looked fine. To society, to social media, to my family. They thought I was successful. And sure, to society it was, but internally something was off. Here recently, a few days ago, I lost someone very, very close to me that I've known for nearly 30 plus years. I had shared this on my socials that when I had first moved to Conroe in 1997, I had met this individual and we were both on the same bus. And I'm sure you listening to this have seen the Forrest Gump story where Forrest Gump gets on the bus and he walks down the aisle of the bus and seat after seat after seat, they say, can't sit here, can't sit here. But then there's one girl who in this place was my good buddy, said, you can sit here. And it was in that moment where I had felt seen, valued, and connected, like I was welcomed. And ever since then, that first individual that I had met in Conroe, Texas, I had spent the next 30 years of my life growing to love this individual and become a brother. We recently, after 25 to 30 years, you know how life happens, business, family, kids, we grew in different directions and we went in different directions. But you know, when you go and you have that lunch or that breakfast or that coffee with that individual and you reconnect, and it's like you it's like you've been talking to them for the last 10 years. And me and this individual hadn't talked in a couple years, but when we went to that breakfast, it was like we had just left off 5 years prior to that. We talked about the future. We talked about our family. We talked about the ups and the downs and the trials and the tribulations of entrepreneurship. And then recently, I heard the news that he had passed away. And I was reflecting afterwards. And one of the reflection questions that I had asked was, it made me ask the hard question. It allowed me to slow down and say, how many people are walking around carrying things nobody knows about? And once I asked that question, one of the things that I realized is success, to whatever that looks like for you in these different areas of life and what you think success is, it does not cure isolation. We think, and I'm talking to myself in the mirror right now, I used to think money would fix it, but it doesn't fix it. Business growth does not fix it. Achievement doesn't fix it. Getting on the podium, money, all these different things that we think fixes it does not fix it. And what I have learned with entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders, we think when I hit the next goal, I'll feel better. I cannot count how many times I still struggle with this to this day, where I say, that next goal that I'm going to hit, I'm going to get that dopamine hit. I'm going to get that endorphin from hitting that goal, from that endurance goal, from that business goal, from that revenue goal, from that sale. I'm going to feel better. But let's be honest. I know this and you know this. Every goal that's achieved within 24 hours, maybe even 24 minutes, that goal, it's on to the next goal. That dopamine hit gets gone so quickly. You're like, oh my gosh, I did this for how long? I sacrificed how much? It cost this much? All for that goal that left us feeling empty inside within 24 hours. And one of the things that I've learned is isolation follows you everywhere. After every goal, it follows you. And you have to fight it. The loneliest seasons of my life wasn't when I had nothing, when I had my back up against the wall. It was when I was carrying everything alone. And what changed for me? This is where I started forging myself. I started praying, asking God for help, on guidance, on bringing the right mentors into my life, on bringing the right people, allowing me to forge myself into a community of like-minded individuals that I could share what I was going through, that would understand my perspective. I started having weekly coffee dates with Kendra because there was zero emotional connection. I wanted to forge, I wanted to pray, I wanted to meditate on becoming the man that I could be, and I knew that I had the potential within, so I had to forge myself in leadership conversations, hard conversations. And when I started having these conversations, when I started slowing down, and then I started being vulnerable, I started opening up, I started creating a safe place where it was just a one-on-one at a coffee shop, and I started sharing with the man on the other side of the table what I was going through, and he was asking me questions, and we were having a full-blown conversation on what I was going through. He didn't have all the answers, but he was able to ask me the questions. And if you have somebody in your life that asks you good quality questions, this could be a mentor, a coach, a friend, your spouse? What does the good quality question do? It allows you to think. And having this conversation with this individual, him asking me these questions, it made me think, it made me realize, it made me look through the world in a different perspective, and something that I had been missing for so many years because I was just bottling it up inside. And having this conversation, this is when the healing started, when I stopped pretending everything was fine. So I ask you, who really knows what's going on in your life? Not social media, not your business, not your accomplishments, you. Who knows? Who can tell when you're struggling? Who can call you out? Who can pray for you? Who can help carry the weight? And if you're carrying something today, listen to me. Do not carry it alone. Make the phone call. Schedule the coffee. Talk to your spouse. Reach out to a mentor. Show up in the room, because isolation is expensive. And none of us were designed to do life alone. Appreciate you guys being here. Keep leveling up.